Okay. Looks like we are ready to get started. Aloha and welcome everyone. We're so glad you can join us today. Mahalo for taking the time to be here. Thank you for your support of Pacific Whale Foundation. We know many of you are longtime supporters. We're joined today by partners, you an old friend. Today is really about sharing the impact of our work over the past year. You'll hear today directly from our team across research, conservation, and education, and most importantly, how your support makes all of this possible. My name is Dana Garland. I'm the Executive Director here at Pacific Whale Foundation, and I'll be dipping in and out today as we move through this time together. Let's jump to the next slide. We are making today more interactive and looking forward to connecting with you all. So we want this to be engaging, not just a presentation this morning, and we'll be using a mixture of polls and small group breakouts throughout the webinar. To get started, we're going to kick things off with a short breakout session. This is your chance to meet a few of the other attendees and share a little bit about yourself. You will be placed automatically into small groups in just a few moments, and each person will have about a minute to share. So please keep your answers short and concise. We'll have a few simple prompts for you to respond to once you're in your groups, including what is your name, where are you calling from, and what's your connection to PWF. We'll automatically bring everyone back into the main room after a few minutes. There's no need to do anything on your end. So thanks again for being here. We're excited to have you with us here today. Let's go ahead and open up the breakout rooms. If you're having difficulty with the technical or sound, please put it in chat and we'll do our best to help you even as we break into these breakout rooms. "10 seconds, you'll head into breakout rooms."
Probando, probando.
I think most of the folks are in breakout rooms. I'm a little confused as why it doesn't look like everybody is, but can anybody hear me? How about that?
I can. Josh, it looks like I can assign participants, but the participants that aren't in breakout rooms can't be assigned for some reason. It might have to do with how they're accessing the webinar.
All right. Well, for those, Pedro, I see your hands up. If you want to, can we take him off of? Go ahead, Pedro. You should be able to speak now, I think.
I think we're almost ready to bring people back from the breakout rooms.
Yep. Sorry you guys didn't get placed in one. We will get started here with everybody in a minute as we bring them back in. Feedback. Thank you.
Thank you.
I work.
All right.
Okay, Bree, I can't talk while you're talking, so I'm gonna.
All right. Welcome back, everyone. Hope you had a great chance to connect. That was fun. We're seeing some additional connections here in the chat. If you were about to introduce yourself and were not able to, please feel free to add your notes here into chat. We hope you were able to connect and meet a few new people. This is always one of my favorite parts of connecting with our in-person events, and getting to utilize technology to have those connections is exciting. So we are going to shift back now to the heart of today's programming and start highlighting our research work. Science is foundational to everything we do at Pacific Whale Foundation. It not only advances our understanding of marine life, but it directly informs our conservation, advocacy, and education efforts. This morning, I'm excited to introduce Jens Curry, our chief scientist. Jens leads our research teams here in Hawaii and internationally. Today, Jens is going to share a little bit about our international research work, and we'll be joined by one of our key global partners. He'll be speaking today with Dr. Cristina Castro, our programs director in Ecuador. Cristina has been instrumental in building and leading our long-standing research efforts there. And so with that, I will turn it over to Jens.
Thank you, Dana. Christina, if you can unmute yourself and just test your mic, please. In the meantime, we're going to poll you folks that are familiar with Pacific Whale Foundation. And the question is, when did Pacific Whale Foundation begin research in Ecuador? Please submit your answers, and we'll follow up with exactly when that was. And so throughout our history, we initially began in Maui, then expanded to Australia, and then Ecuador, and then Chile, and then Japan, in that order, from our origins in 1980s to where we are today. And so thank you, Dana, for introducing Cristina. Not only does she lead the research efforts in Ecuador, but she also carries out all the education and conservation efforts. And it's this connection where research leads to education and conservation action that really makes Pacific Whale Foundation unique. And we practice that anywhere we're at. And so with that, I'm going to take you through that with Cristina with some structured interview questions. So Cristina, can you please first share your name and your role at Pacific Whale Foundation, and how long have you been with Pacific Whale Foundation?
Oh, thank you, everybody. Thank you so much, Dennis and Diana, invite me. I am so happy. My name is Cristina Castro. I am the Director of Programs of Ecuador of Pacific Whale Foundation. My history with the foundation began in 2001 when I met with Greg Kaufman and joined as a researcher, captivated and deeply passionate about the ocean and whales. Since 2006, I have had the privilege of leading projects and programs in research, conservation, and education in Ecuador and across to the Southeast Pacific. And our mission is deadly ambitious: to generate rigorous science, to lead regional research process, but also to build bridges connecting people with the ocean, with its species, whales and dolphins, and with the urgency to protect it. Because knowing the ocean is the first step, but loving it is what changed everything.
Thank you, Christina. And so over the past 2 years, you've been quite busy training over 200 people of artisanal fishers, the fire department, the Navy, park ranger, basically any on-water user on how to safely disentangle whales and dolphins. You also published a lot of work on this and what you were starting to see in 2018, documenting bycatch, targeted fisheries, and even some cases where marine mammals were being used as bait. And so problems that without this research might have stayed invisible. And so can you walk us through what PWF discovered in Ecuador and what that science was and the foundation for everything that followed?
Yes, everything started with a simple question. What is really happening to whales and dolphins? In 2009, we received our first grant to study bycatch. We worked directly with the artisanal fishers, learning from them and understand their reality. We didn't want to assume, we want to listen. And at the same time, we began building the base for long-term research, organizing stranding records, collecting photo ID data, humpback whales, and creating data sets for different cetacean species. This early work taught us something important. Good science starts with the right questions, and those questions often come from listening. After the years of the field work of our data collection, we start turning our observation into evidence. Our first publication paper in the slide, Jimenez, in 2018, showed dolphins with amputated fins, clear signs of interaction with fishing gears. For the first time, we could show not only the bycatch what happened, but also which species were most affected. In 2019, we looked at governments because this is not just an ecological issue. We find important gaps in the legal frameworks in Ecuador. And finally, we also documented the use of FATs. FAT is the fish aggregation devices, where dead marine mammals are something used as bait due to their high fat content. This is one of the first record of this practice in the Eastern Tropical Pacific. We later presented this evidence to the International Whaling Commission, showing that more than 15 cetacean species are affected by fishing gears in Ecuadorian waters. Without science, these realities could remain invisible, unnamed, unmeasured, and therefore unanswered. All of these publications are available in our website.
Thank you, Christina. So I think the research showed a clear documentation of conflict with fisheries, or at least not a clear understanding of how to respond to interactions with marine mammals and what is likely the livelihood for many fishermen in the region. And so you currently undergoing this campaign of training and education and safely disentangling marine mammals, but who was responsible for that prior to your training in Ecuador? Who was responding to those entanglements?
I love the answer to this question because I love to share with everybody in Pacific World Foundation what happened here in Ecuador. The main issue with entanglements is not the fishers. They are also deeply affected. They lose valuable years and income and are simply trying to protect their livelihoods. And sulfur gill nets can cost between 3,000 and to 5,000 American dollars. In Ecuador, it should be the government responding to entanglement cases. But in reality, there are not enough human or financial resources to do so. So the solution was not just raising awareness, but working directly with the local communities, especially fishers, to show that it's possible to save both the animals, the cetaceans, and the nets at the same time. That is how this initiative began, training workshops and the provision of the disentanglement tools for marine megafauna, always grounded in science. Today, more than 300 people from the 10 different communities along the Ecuadorian coast, from the north to the south, have been trained in marine megafauna disentanglement. We have delivered over 100 rescue kits for both large and small species, from big cetaceans, whales, and the turtles. But the most important results are something harder to measure: the local capacity. There are now training people along the entire coast ready to respond with the knowledge and the tools to act.
So we have good research, finding a clear problem. We have conservation efforts on the ground, seeing real change for the marine mammals. What about the next generation? So I know you focused on educating nearly 1,000 students in coastal Ecuador, and you even wrote a children's book, Alina the Ballena, or Alina the Whale. Can you talk a bit about why education in the communities of Ecuador really matters?
Yes, of course, the education is essential, and we believe it must start close to home. Elena la Ballena, or Elena the Whale, over the years, thousands of children have connected with the ocean through our programs. In the last years, we have delivered around 1,000 books in the coastal of Ecuador. Through our annual schools visits, we go into the classrooms, talk about whales, and bring to the ocean closer to them. If you like, we download in Spanish our book in the foundation website.
Thanks, Christina. We get time for just one more question. And so looking at everything Pacific Whale Foundation has built in Ecuador, the research, the trainings, the education, if this work didn't exist, if Pacific Whale Foundation wasn't able to support this effort since 2001, what do you think the future would look like for whales and dolphins there? And what gives you hope?
We start this journey, and me exactly, that young mother and star of my path, but I was given an opportunity, and now I believe this work is not just about conservation, it's about changing lives, including our own, of course. And this work is not possible, and with gratitude to our Ecuadorian team, volunteers, and our partners, Save the Blue Five, Whale Aid, Museo de Ballenas, and others more. And only I forget to talk about a little bit more about Elena la Ballena, because we want children to feel something, to feel connections, respect, and pride, because we believe when the people feel connect with something, they protect. And this is our idea with all our training programs and education programs. Thank you.
Thank you, Christina. And so much like we do research, education, and conservation in Ecuador, we do the same here. So it's my pleasure to introduce Bree, who's going to talk about our conservation efforts.
Aloha, everyone. Thank you, Jens. Thank you, Christina. It's so great to hear all the work that's happening in Ecuador. And it's also so great to be here with you all today to share a little bit about what we're doing here in conservation and outreach at Pacific Whale Foundation Maui. If you haven't taken a look at our annual report online, please do so. We're going to briefly kind of talk about our programs and then do a deeper dive with one of our partners. But a lot of the conservation work we do here in Hawaii addresses the removal of marine debris through various methods. And we were able to share the work that we do at some conferences and engage school groups around the area to do some programming. So we'll hop on over to the next slide and share a little bit about our outreach as well, engaging the local visitors or local residents and visitors in restoration conservation efforts with our partners. That's the Malama Pono program that I hope all of you have joined before or maybe plan to come back to Maui and join again. And then again, we've been doing a lot of the presentations, engaging with community, letting them know what work we're doing here in Hawaii and how they can get involved. One of the projects that I really wanted to highlight is our reef cleanup dives. And today I would love to introduce Maggie, who is the co-owner for this beautiful float vessel, Maui Pacific Divers. She's also raised here in Maui and is an amazing local artist and educator. And we're so happy to have her join today so that we can dive in, all puns intended for this section. Maggie, can you hear me all right?
Aloha, so great to be here.
Thank you for joining us. I have a few questions for you. Can you share how you first got involved with our reef cleanup efforts and why this work matters to you personally?
We launched this iteration of Maui Pacific Divers in the spring of 2023. So small, like we've got one boat out of Ma'alaya. My partner, Mikkel, designed and built the boat. So it's small family business. Fires hit, bookings, everything's done. There's nothing happening. And Pacific Whale Foundation reached out to us because there was the need for coral reef surveys off of Lahaina to see what was happening underwater. And so that was how our partnership began with this wonderful team. And then as things evolve, as we transition from direct recovery and mitigation to resilience, this was the next sort of the area of need that we identified, and that having a boat with scuba divers and our team's expertise was the perfect fit for. And so we knew where there was a lot of line and lead and hooks underwater, and that we started going and taking it all out.
Thank you. Yeah, so the images that you see here is from Ke'one'o'io, La Perouse Bay. It's one of the spots that we go to often. We've collected over 5,000 pounds in the past couple of years. For those of you who have not maybe joined us or not familiar with this program, what does a typical reef cleanup dive look like from your perspective, Maggie?
So we have a 40-foot rigid hull inflatable that's very versatile for different types of work. And so we pick out what they were going and organize who's coming. It's a group of of skilled divers, some dive professionals, others that have just been vetted. Many of them are Pacific Whale team members. And we head out in the morning and cross Ma'alaya Bay to Ke'one'o'io, and it's a drift dive. For those of you who are divers, there's no mooring there, so it takes a lot of skill on our captains and crews' part to drop the divers, pull back, send them down, and they have gloves, they have clippers, they've got bucket, or the guide has some buckets, and the divers go about carefully removing the tangle of fishing line from the coral that then has lead on it, that's got prongs on it, and it's these awful things that just catch on the reef. And then there's the hooks and all of this. So gathering all of this, putting it into buckets, and then our lead guide has all this in the bucket and fills the bucket, the float bag, with air. And so it rises to the surface. And over time, we have been streamlining these processes, making them even more safer, and using higher quality buckets and the way it's all set up so that the diver doesn't have to go up and down. And so we take all this lead out and bring it back to shore and weigh it. And Bree and her team deciphers everything, everything that's in there so we can better understand what's down there. And then we go out there and do it again.
That was a beautiful journey. Lots of ironing out along the way. There's no simple follow these steps to do this sort of thing. It was something that we had to come up together, and it's been a great partnership with that. And another thing that I wanted to address from what you said is it is just like a webbing of line and debris down there, and we do have to carefully remove it from this fragile ecosystem. We don't want to cause more damage by doing the removal effort. So we do have an amazing trained team to do this effort. And then also the lead weights we do give to community partners like Maui Pacific Divers that will then recycle and turn them into useful gear, artwork, very creative minds. So we're trying to figure out reusing, how to best reuse the material that we're collecting so that it doesn't just end up in the landfill. This past year, we have removed over 2,000 pounds of debris from Maui reefs, more so at Ke'one'o'io. From your experience, what difference is this making?
So this Ke'one'o'io is an interesting spot because you've got, as you know, as those of you who have spent time down there, or La Perouse, it's has been known by many people, but the Hawaiian name Ke'one'o'io, it's just lava rock, and so it's very it's like you can be careful where you walk. And so traditionally the fishermen have all kind of gathered at this one location where they fish off the shore. And so the underwater, it's rocky too, and then also coral covered. And so their lead and line catches there. And because of the topography and whatnot, they all fish at this one spot. And so underneath it's been just covered. But even just our numbers of what we bring up tells the story that we are getting ahead. There is still plenty down there, but to begin with, we were getting easily over 300 pounds with 7 divers down doing 2 dives. And now it's more like, it's more in the 200 pounds a trip, maybe a little under, a little over. And so we're getting better at doing this, and we're having to, in order to be still taking up big numbers, because we are getting ahead. And so that means healthier coral, better habitat, less likely for honu and all the other species to get snared on it. And we're learning about what's down there and the processes so that we can take this elsewhere. And then also having these materials that we are working on innovating for to create items that can in themselves help spread the word of what this all is.
Beautifully said, right? The collection of what we've been getting, we've kind of dug into the historical load that's been there. And so as we continue to do this work, we hope to see a decrease in these large numbers. So maybe the next year annual report will be 2,000 removed instead of 5,000. And so the goal is to get that number down so that we don't have to do these removal efforts to start with. And we're working on doing educational aspects of it as well, going into schools, which Maggie's been helping out with, but general outreach as well. So it's a multi-pronged approach to try to do the preventative of this debris going on our shoreline. My last question for you, Maggie, is why is it important to have partners like yourself, Maui Pacific Divers, involved in this kind of conservation work?
Well, I'd say just like an ecosystem, a healthy ecosystem is healthy when it has animals of different sizes. Being able to partner with Pacific Whale Foundation, with us having our different strengths, that we concentrate on scuba diving, and so we're able to provide that expertise, and yet we're also able to work with such a wonderful team who has organizational capacities and whatnot. And so I think amazing things happen together when we are all working towards this and showing that these companies that have boats in the water are caring for these resources.
Mahalo, Maggie. Thanks for joining us. I'm going to pass it along to our education manager to learn more about what's happening here in Maui.
Aloha, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. Just make sure everyone can hear me. Good. Okay, perfect. Again, my name is Lauren. I'm the education manager at Pacific Whale Foundation, and I have Steve joining me today, Steve Nazario, who is one of our education volunteers. I'm going to start with just a quick overview to explain and give context to some of our pictures of our programs before diving into discussing with Steve. This first slide, you're seeing photos from our Keiki Whale Watch program. This is our school whale watch field trip program that we've provided for many years. I do believe there's an upcoming poll question about that. That question is going to be asking you, how many students has Keiki Whale Watch served in the last 10 years, from 2016 to 2026? So feel free to throw your best guess in there. To give context for last year, we did serve 1,109 students on our Keiki Whale Watch program. That was a little bit of a limited number compared to previous years, but we're happy to say in 2026, the program is growing again. Let's move on to our next fun education program, and that is going to be our day camp programs. Specifically today, we're going to be talking about Ocean Camp, which is a program that has been around since the late 1990s. And this is a day camp program focused on environmental education for our students. Historically, it has served both students who are visiting Maui and our local students as well. And that is why I'm so excited to introduce Steve today. Steve, can you hear me all right?
I sure can. Can you hear me?
Perfect. Yes, we can hear you. We would love to dive into your experience, and I would love to start with the question of what drew you to volunteer with our education team at Pacific Whale Foundation.
Well, back in 1992, when I first visited Maui, I went on a trip with Pacific Whale, and since then I've worn the T-shirt and merch from you guys, and when we became a family, we came here and our kids went to the day camp. So that gave us an insight as to how enjoyable and what it was like as a parent of a child who just loved the program. So that's really, that was what inspired both myself and my wife to want to join the volunteer program and help in the education program.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And we're so excited to have your help. Steve and Estella have been our MVP volunteers in 2025. We're very thankful for their service in helping out our team. My next question is a little bit more about your experience while volunteering, now that we've got you into our program. What would you say is your favorite part of volunteering with the education team?
Well, the Kikis, they get amazed every time. It's the enthusiasm, the screaming, the excitement of the kids out on the boat, out on the water. It's always like the first time we ever went out. So the interactions are always different, and I'm always learning new things from the kids, and it's a lot of fun. Our next to last trip was actually the school that right by our house, within 2 blocks. So we drive past the school every day, and it felt like an honor to be able to interact and help their those kids directly. So it's fun.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, I love the point you made about learning from our Keiki and our participants. I think as teachers, one of the favorite things of my role is that I get to learn from these kids, and equally they learn from me, and we have that sweet ecosystem going. So thank you very much. My last question is a little bit more about that future impact. And if we could go to that next slide. This is kind of the vision for our education team, is that introduction of environmental education experiences while they're young. You can see some of our fun logos for our programs that are existing now. And we're hoping to continue that pipeline from those childhood education experiences through career exploration, community connection, internship programs, into supporting these students into fields related to the ocean. So my last question for you, Steve, is what impacts you see these programs having on the future?
Well, from conversations you and I have had with getting the older kids into the program for creating a bridge, if you will, from the fun early years to the pre career selection years, to create a bridge. And, you know, I see it as so diverse between journalism, activism, and conservatism. You know, it gives them a basis. And, you know, for my kids, you know, every time we talk about the program, it just makes them have a better, you know, perspective. It gives them a world perspective. You know, and it molds them, helps mold them into good citizens, you know, even if they don't go directly into, you know, get on the water, but that's always great. I think these programs really give them a better understanding. Even for the kids who live here on Maui, that a lot of them have never been out on the water, you know. So there's that.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing. That is the work we're doing in the education team and really focusing on this vision and pipeline moving forward. Thank you for listening to myself and Steve bragging about our programs and our keiki today. I'm going to pass it off to Dana, I believe, next.
Great. Thank you, Lauren and Steve. Thanks for joining us, Steve, today.
Thank you.
I want to just take a moment to say thank you to everyone who helped bring these stories today. Thank you, Maggie. Thank you, Christina. Thank you, Steve, for joining us. And thank you to each of our program leadership team members for the incredible work you do every day. I want to take a moment now to just talk a little bit about Pac Whale Eco Adventures, our ecotourism programs, and the important role that those play with the Pacific Whale Foundation. First, our vessel operations. Many of you have probably joined us on a trip over the years. These trips help connect people to the ocean in a meaningful way, to inspire deeper appreciation for whales, dolphins, and marine ecosystems. And the trips and our retail also play a critical role in generating funding that supports research, conservation, and education programs. In 2025, we added our newest vessel to the fleet, Kaiko. There's a picture there on the slide, a photograph. Kaiko means sea with a strong current. After losing a vessel in the 2023 fires, Kaiko is a sailing vessel that represents for us a new chapter, carrying forward our commitment to push ahead for the marine environment and our community. And you heard a little bit about the Keiki Whale Watch programs from Lauren and Steve. And I'm thrilled to share that the first trips that Kaiko took this year were the Keiki Whale Watch programs. So children in Maui Nui going out on this vessel to connect with the marine environment. It's a pretty special way to bring that vessel into our fleet. We also opened a new location for our ocean store in Kihei. You may be aware that we lost our Lahaina location in the fires. We're thrilled to have had the opportunity to expand to Kihei in the past year, to expand mission support and awareness through our mission-aligned retail and community connection. About 40% of the products that are carried in our store are made in Hawaii by local artists and businesses. And then for the first time since 2023, early 23, our on-staff training team certified 10 naturalists as interpretive guides. This was an exciting program to bring back through the National Association for Interpretation. It's a 6-week intensive program. And so we have 10 of our naturalists now certified. And then we do continue to work with several partners to reduce our operational waste and advance that environmental stewardship across our fleet, improving technologies and expanding our sustainability and compost programs. So with that, I think I'm going to turn it over to Josh to share a little bit about our financial overview from 2025. Josh?
Hey, thank you, Dana. And I just want to echo the thanks to our colleagues who shared today and our volunteers and our partners who are joining us, and probably most importantly, all the folks tuning in to listen that provide great support for us to do this important work. I think most of you know, you've heard from us. The last few years have been challenging, certainly post-COVID and post-fire for many here on Maui, and certainly we are not exempt from that kind of challenge and resilience that we've had to show. 2025 for us was really a year of strong stabilization, starting to kind of get our footing back in a lot of ways. We had to make a lot of tough and thoughtful decisions. And we took some important steps to help move the organization forward. As you can see on the screen, we generated just under $2.9 million in revenue. The majority of that comes from individual support alongside, corporate support and some foundation support as well. We also had some significant support from the County of Maui, which has been really nice. We did operate again in a deficit, but we were able to drastically cut that from previous years. And we continue to make important decisions and progress towards long-term financial sustainability and stability as well. A couple of encouraging areas of progress we saw over the last few years. We have seen some good success in major donor giving. A bunch of individuals have stepped up and are giving at a level that makes a real difference. Certainly every dollar matters for us, but we've really appreciated those who've been able to contribute larger sums to support this work. And we've built some strong momentum with the new corporate partnership and sponsorship programs. Hopefully, for those of you who aren't on Maui, when you visit some of our partners as well. There's the chocolate tour on Sundays every other week. We have our good supporters at Ocean Vodka. We've done a number of events with there, and they support us along with a number of others. On the foundation side, we're still working hard there to submit some grants. Looking forward to having some more wins. We did see a few this year and hoping to see more. And I would just say for everybody on the call today, if you have any connections to individuals, companies, or foundations that might be aligned and interested in supporting our work, we certainly would love the introductions. We are doing some really good, amazing work. You've heard a little bit about some of that today. All of our teams have more things that they would like to do. In order to do that, we need to be able to raise more money. So the support you're giving, we thank you for, and any introductions to others who can support even more would be amazing. Yeah. I'm going to turn it back to Dana. I think we're going to head into some more breakout groups.
All right. Thank you, Josh. Okay, well, we would love to give you an opportunity to engage a bit more directly with our team. We're going to open up breakout rooms for each of the key areas you've heard from today: research, conservation, outreach, and education. This is a great chance to ask questions, connect with our staff, volunteers, and partners to get a little more deeper dive on the work that interests you the most. When we come back, we're going to share a few current and upcoming opportunities, and to encourage you to stick around and connect. For those of you still online, when we come back, we will be doing a drawing for a gift card to the Ocean Store. Okay, so we're going to keep the rooms open for about 10 minutes, and then we'll bring everyone back together to close things out. If you're joining from your computer, you'll be able to choose which rooms you'd like to join. You can click View Rooms. If you decide you want to switch rooms at any point, you can do that using the Rooms tab at the top of your screen. This is a very important note, so please listen carefully here. If you're joining from a phone, please use the chat to let us know which room you would like to join, and we will assign you. Thanks again for being here. We hope you enjoy the conversations. Go ahead and click that View Rooms and join a discussion. We'll see you back here in a few minutes. For those of you noting in chat what room you'd like to go to, stand by and you will be added to those rooms. It just takes a moment sometimes to connect.
If you're not in a room and you want to go, on the top of your screen, you should see rooms, and you should be able to click on that and then pick one of the 3 rooms.
Question, Thomas. Alexa, go ahead. You have a question?
Alexa, sorry, I think you should now be able to talk.
Yes, hi. I cannot access the chat, but I would like to go to the Keiki room.
Great.
Okay.
Mhm. Christina, do you want to go in the room with Jens in the research? You put Christina over to the room with Jens. Josh and Reagan.
I think Reagan has control. I was
Okay.
trying to do it, but I think only one person can at a time.
I
There
just
she
moved her. Alexa, which room would you like to be in?
Education.
Education. I think Andrew wants to go to conservation. See that one. If you are still connected in the room and you would like to still join a breakout room, please just message. Oh, great. Thanks, Reagan. Please just message chat or feel free to unmute and we'll be happy to get you moved over. Aloha, Hannah. We did not set up an ecotourism room, but if you have any questions, we'd be happy to talk story with you here. I think Josh can help you unmute.
Yeah, I think I did just unmute her. Trying to unmute the rest in case anyone else has any questions before everyone comes back.
Hi, I was just wondering, also I don't have the options to enter any rooms on my screen, that's why I didn't know what the options were, but I was wondering about the Naturalist program. What does that include?
So the training program, there's actually a complete certification program through that the Intuitive Guide training. And it includes it's moving from just sharing facts to connecting with folks to get that storytelling connection to what they're seeing and understanding and really understanding those behaviors. So it's training in both helping to kind of refine the storytelling, how they present on the vessels, and then also to take that to bringing it to a deeper connection for the passengers. And so we have 2 people on staff who are certified as trainers, and they do that training here internally. But it is a nationally recognized certification.
That's super interesting. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. I'll drop the organization in chat here.
We have about a minute or 2 before everyone else comes back. If anyone else has any questions, I believe I have unmuted or given you the ability to all speak, at least on Teams.
Anna, the link to that website is in chat if you didn't see it.
government responding to entanglements.
Oh, we all
Hello?
left.
Everyone's coming back. Welcome
It's okay?
back.
Christine, we're back in
Oh,
the main
sorry.
room now.
Okay, I tried again. It's possible somebody help me? Because I don't know how. Thank you.
Okay, it looks like we are all back. Reagan, is everybody back from the breakout rooms? Just a quick check before we go. I think so. All right, I see a thumbs up from Reagan. All right, welcome back, everyone. I hope you had some great conversations. I know sometimes those conversations take a moment to get going. I'm sorry if we interrupted, but thank you for being here. Before we wrap up today, I just want to highlight a few ways that you can stay involved. We can, Kagan, if you can share that slide. I don't know if it's, I can't see it. Maybe everybody can see it still. Okay, great. Okay, a few ways that you can stay involved. Our Malama Pono opportunities happen every week. They are a great way to get hands-on and give back. All throughout Maui Nui, actually just on Maui right now. We also have an upcoming Ma'alaya Harbor cleanup on April 25th. So if you are on island, please consider joining us for that cleanup event. And then we are always looking for volunteers to join our Ocean Ambassadors program. There are many opportunities as well to join our education programs and more. Use that QR code on your screen to visit our website and explore different ways to get involved. If you're connecting from your phone, go to the Pacific Whale Foundation website and click volunteer, and you will be able to find those opportunities as well. We're also excited, next slide, to share our 2026 Earth Month sweepstakes. This is a great way to support Pacific Whale Foundation while also having a chance to win a 5-day, 4-night trip to Maui. That includes airfare, a hotel stay, and a Pac Whale Eco Adventures experience, plus more. Learn more through the QR code, and please share that with friends, family, anyone that you think might be interested in that opportunity. And then finally, we are participating in the Maui Visitor Industry Charity Walk again this year. Whether you're here on Maui or joining us from afar, there are many ways to get involved, and this is an incredible opportunity to help support Pacific Whale Foundation's programs. You can join our team and walk with us. You can help fundraise and or donate. It's a really fun event, great way to connect with the community and for community support, and we would absolutely love for you to be a part of it. You can find out more information and join us through that QR code. And then finally, I just want to say thank you again for joining us today and for your continued support of Pacific Whale Foundation. We'll be hosting another webinar soon to share more about our 2026 to 2029 strategic plan and where we are headed as an organization. Now, before we wrap up, we have 46 attendees still on the line, and we're excited to announce the winner of our $100 Ocean Store credits. So to make this fun, I'm going to ask one of our presenters to help pick a number. Christina, if you're still on the line, will you 46, please?
Here.
Say it again.
Christina, can you pick a number between 1 and 46?
Sorry, I cannot hear you very good. You can repeat me, please?
Just pick a number between 1 and 46 to pick the winner.
Okay. 22.
Okay. Who is our winner? Reagan's posting it in the chat here. The winner is drum roll, folks. We're all waiting on the edge of our seats. Konstantin. All right, we'll follow up with you directly to get your Ocean Store credit, and we do have an online Ocean Store. So whether you're here on Maui or online, you will be able to go shopping in our incredible selection from the Ocean Store. All right, thanks again, everyone, for joining, for being here with us today, and for your continued support of Pacific Whale Foundation's Pacific Whale Foundation's programs. We're thankful to connect with you today and look forward to the next time. Aloha.
Chao, gracias.
Thank you, Christine.